I'm Sam Mitchell, and these are my stories. Hi folks, have a good day today. Let me first welcome you to Autism Rocks and Rolls. Now before we get into this, I'm not a psychiatrist. If you're starting to be diagnosed with autism, please see a physician. I was based on my experiences. I also write to the intro and outro that I found on DanielBooking.com and MediaFireSound.com. I also have a mission to interview with all of you. The mission of Autism Rocks and Rolls is to take the stigma off of autism and other conditions that may lead to disabilities. People on the spectrum are not broken and do not need to be fixed. Those have conditions or abilities do not to be pitied. There's nothing to be sorry about. And also some people I like to thank. Our friends at the All Abilities Choir did it. They sang at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, and got a standing ovation. Great job, guys. You still have room for special needs night. Make sure to sign up. Mary Stanley from Supported Minds is a connection that deserves attention. A significant issue that Supported Minds recognize is that a large number of individuals with neurodiverse identities are often more characterized by labels than by their true selves. This constrained perspective could keep them from developing and providing them with fewer possibilities. Their solution is a groundbreaking tactic that shifts the focus from categorization to each person's unique set of attributes. My podcast will be highlighted on their channel, which they'll want to debut later. Make sure to keep checking back. That is not all, because we also talked to our friend Yarona Boaster. If you'd like to attend Yarona Boaster's Communications Academy, make your reservation as soon as possible. She's looking for someone to grow with her on stage. AR had their second expert panel meet, and it went superb. It gave us more of an idea of what AR curriculum would be produced. An extra thanks go to Samuel Hutchins from the parent episode of C220, You Gotta Have a Try for more information, Lori Beth Frederick, and Kathy Pratt for attending. I also had the privilege to speak at Troop Elementary School in Paoli, Indiana about bullying. An extra thank you goes to Principal Josh Mullins for inviting us. We can add a press appearance to the list because my mother at C105 Meet My Mother for more information went to the WFHAB IU Bloomington station and was interviewed by fellow athlete Luke Jackson. Thank you, Luke, for interviewing us about our work. She had a blast. Plus, I did go to some networking events. The first one was with the We Can Network group, but then I tried the new Alignable app and went to one of the functions. It was named Smart Connections, 1 hour to grow your network. At the second event, I met a lot of individuals, but I also saw some old friends. My mother had time to go on the Inspire Herd podcast alongside Stacy Fleece and Samantha Tragelis. What a fantastic podcast. She's not the only one who went on podcasts, because I did too. I was on the Remembering Them podcast with brothers Mark and Luke Cecile, the Little Give TV show with Cindy Whitman, the Truth Tastes Funny podcast with my friend Hirsch Rapun, the Your Confident Autistic Live podcast with my other friend Chris Mitchell, and the Nobody Knows Your Story podcast with Larry Camp. What a fun group of podcasts to be on. Now, folks, we'll be right back when you hear from someone new, and that is V's Barbershop of Bloomington, so let's get to it. Located on the popular College Road in Bloomington, Indiana, V's Barbershop of Bloomington is a place to be. V's of Bloomington provides you history with a contemporary spin. Everything from the real barber chairs to our relaxing neck and head massages and our classic hot foam and straight edge razor cuts. They encourage you to experiment with your hairstyle alternatives, whether you're going for a more modern men's hairstyle or a classic short haircut. This place is even autism friendly because the owner and the staff have done the research on how to give your child with autism a haircut safely. But there's not only one in Bloomington, it's worldwide, because there are some in places such as Las Vegas and Arrowhead, Oklahoma. V's Barbershop does not only have the barbershop, but it has a shop where you can buy items for your beard. That is not all. They even have an app you can download. We'll go call it 812-332-4897. That's 812-332-4987 to get your hair trimmed today. Alright folks, and we're back, and you won't meet Barber there, but you will meet Barber if you go to V's Barbershop. So today's topic about something in the autism world that is, let's just say, muddy. That topic is patience. Some of the spectrum who have a mindset like myself understand patience is essential, but we don't know how to put the anchor off the boat. But then there's some on the spectrum who don't have my mindset, and patience isn't in their manual book. For those on the spectrum, they don't know how long they need to give something before it's time to lose our patience. Because humans are supposed to have patience, but I know humans don't just sit on the couch forever. Eventually, they take action. We don't know how long it's supposed to be before we take action. For example, in the movie The Heat, if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie. Feel free to check it out after this episode. But anyway, I'll spoil it a little bit. There's a scene where 2 detectives are trying to interrogate this guy, and each one of them had different personalities. One is a calculated but also arrogant FBI detective, but the other is a hot-tempered and foul-mouthed detective. They both want to try approaching the suspect in different ways. Well, they both have a little bit of an argument, and then the arrogant one says, listen, let me try it my way for 5 minutes. If it doesn't work, you can come in and we'll do it your way. Well, the cop's like, okay, fine, whatever. She goes in and is about to try it her way, but within 5 seconds, the foul-mouthed cop busts in the door and she's like, I've had enough of this. We're doing it my way. Well, the detective's like, that was only like 5 seconds. Well, my first reaction is the detective might be on the spectrum because her patience level isn't really high. But second, I'm also asking, could she have been more patient? Was it the appropriate time to barge in? Did she need a longer time span to get information out of the criminal? If I thought about it really hard, I could give you the answer, but off the bat, my answer is, I don't know, because I could see both sides. Now, the definition of patience is, it is the ability to put up with postponement, trouble, or difficulties without losing your cool. It's your tolerance level and how long you can put up with something before you believe your hair starts to fall out. I think why this is hard for those on the spectrum to get is we are immediate thinkers. You've heard the phrase fight or flight. Well, for us, it's now or never. We're not beating around the bush. We know thinking through, and C108 thinking through for more information drives you crazy. And I get why it does, but parents, you need to understand us losing patience is our way of being more productive, more efficient. Believe it or not, it's a strategy for avoiding hyperfixation. C205, finding the blueprint for more information. Parents, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to lose our patience and solve the problem? Or do you want us to not solve the problem? And the way we're driving you crazy is by being hyperfixated. I know you're asking which scenario is going to drive me less crazy, and if I have to pick, I'm going to pick the one where I lose patience, but the problem gets solved. Let's be honest, you can't latch on a problem forever unless you want to drown yourself in the drain. Plus, the My Way to the Highway and C103, My Way to the Highway for more information, thinking does come into play. So as I may or may have not said before, I don't like working well with others. I prefer to walk alone in projects. I've always hated when the teachers said, partner up or group projects. Part of it was because of my trust issues that I still have, but two, it was because of the patience level I know I could have with people. Let me explain. Since I have a mindset where I can see, okay, we got to partner up this role and work with people or we're not going to make it, fine, but if nothing's getting done, then I'm going to push you off the mountain without hesitation. I've given you long enough to do your part, and you're not doing it. So I'm done. I played by your rules. Now we're playing by my rules. If I have to become and sound like a dictator, so be it. I have a perfect story with this. It was on young Sheldon and Dr. John Sturgis, because he believes scientists need to learn how to collaborate, made them work on group projects. And Sheldon did everything in his power to get out of it. I think he knew, due to his social skills, he would lose patience with those people and it would become a My Way to the Highway scenario. Well, he didn't get out of it, but what he predicted happened. They bickered, then they got along, but then they bickered again. Sheldon lost his patience. Sheldon got a little bossy, and then he put the My Way to the Highway in action and basically told the guy to get his dirty underpants and get out of here. Plus, patience lacks consistency. There's different deadlines for each assignment, and for some of the spectrum, they can't manage that. So what does some of the spectrum do? They make it the exact same timeline for each scenario. It used to be for me 2 weeks or I'm taking action. As I gotten older, I've seen I can't do that, but I didn't know what else to do. And if there was something else I could have done, I would have done it. Parents, you're probably wondering what the patience level of my child with autism is. There's no definitive answer. To quote Temple Grandin using C124, pictures on the ranch from Temple Grandin, when you met one person on the autism spectrum, you met one person on the autism spectrum. Although they try and make the deadlines the same, the patience level will not be. There are many reasons why autism spectrum disorder is a spectrum. One of those reasons is the patience level. There's no 80% for each person. Probably some have 80%, but there's some who probably have 30, who have 40%, who have 20%, and I bet there's someone with 0% patience. I just want the parents to know your accommodations for patience will be different for your child. This topic is also a two-way street. I can't stress this enough. Parents, you have to have patience for your child, because if you don't, here's what's going to happen. Smoke will be coming out of your ears every day. Your face will turn red every day, and it will get to the point where you will not want to be around your child. But parents, you're not the only ones who have to have patience. Aspies, you have to do it too. Your parents will love you and take care of you, but sometimes they're not going to understand you, whether that be your explanation or why you're not doing something or even what you're doing. But with a little patience and peace, trust me, there'll be less fights in the house. I will say there are scenarios where our patience will run thin. According to some general research and my knowledge, some of those are tardiness or being late. I think part of it is because I'm in a job where if you're tardy, they'll nag you on to you for it. But I also think it's because you didn't keep your word. If you say you're going to do something and be there at a certain time, do it. It's not that hard to do. I'm probably one of the guys who has the worst time management skills alive, but I could still be somewhere at 6 a.m. if someone has requested me to. Another scenario is someone not understanding and communication difficulties. So I did promote earlier how those on a spectrum need to have patience with parents and peers if they don't understand you or you can't get the words out, but I get it. It's so frustrating. It's like when you go on a karaoke stage and you forget the words, but instead of forgetting the words, you just can't say the dang words. Another is disrespect toward peers. So as you may know, those on a spectrum are pretty loyal people. And what they do, as I stated in my very first episode actually, is C101, Sam Stories for more information. We treat friends like family, which has its strengths and weaknesses. If someone decided to act up on them, we're going to be the first ones on their tail. We're not afraid to be Rey Mysterio's telling Dominic Mysterio, you don't disrespect your mother like that. A great example is I'm very close with my academic advisor and we just clicked. Well, if someone was to spit on her, oh God, I don't know if I'd be able to keep a lid on my temper. And if I did, it would take everything for me to do so. The final scenario is waiting. Any child can find it tough to learn how to wait, but children with autism may find it more difficult. This is due to the possibility that they struggle with time perception and have a sense to get irritated quicker than others. I will also mention that those on a spectrum sometimes do not have patience in relationships, and C104, making friends and getting that girl for more information, is part of why some of the spectrum will choose not to socialize or date. To see where we are coming from, look at the first video below by Thomas Henley. Part of us having no patience is due to our anxiety. In C109, Autistic Butterflies, for more information, we have a scenario where John is having to do a group project, and it's going well. No one's not doing their part. Everyone's working. It's going good. Well, the due date comes by, and they're not close to being done, or they're halfway done, just not done. It's not because no one didn't do their part, it's just everyone has a life. And John gets so anxious, he's now becomes the dictator. I mentioned earlier, his anxiety is coming across as rude and he's taking out on other people, which I get. We're human. We all do that sometimes, even if you're not on the spectrum. Because you're on a spectrum, you don't get a free pass. You have a better way, an alternative way that's more respectful and polite. What you can do is, instead of stressing, I think there's a way you could probably tell your group mates and the teacher respectfully, hey, I'm so anxious about this, guys. I know we've been working. I applaud your efforts. I talked to the teacher and I'm just nervous this isn't going to get turned in. It may not change anything, but I think the teacher and your partners will appreciate you telling them because they'll at least know, and you have a higher chance of the partners or the teacher helping you out. Or if they can't, what you might get is some calming techniques. If you ask me, that's something. Parents, I'm not going to lie. If those on the spectrum lose patience and no one helps them, whether that's a family member or a friend, 1 out of 2 actions will go down. 1, there'll be an explosion. And I'm not talking about a dynamite explosion. I'm talking about a Brock Lesnar explosion. And here's how a Brock Lesnar explosion goes. First, what you will hear is Brock roar like this. Then, our target will be going to Suplex City. There'll be innocent bystanders taking F5s. It will end up with Brock Lesnar getting suspended, and it doesn't end well. But, can you blame him? There's no Paul Heyman going, Brock, 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 to cool him down. The other action is we throw in the towel and we're bummed. We've had enough. We say, to heck with it. I'm not going to face this straight on. I've exited the storm. The bandana John Cena has when he enters the ring gets thrown out the window. Now, folks, we'll be right back. We're going to hear from our new friends, the Proper Bullying Tattoo Society. So let's get to it. If you're looking to get some new ink on your skin, you should stop by at the Proper Bully Tattoo Society in Bedford, Indiana. This shop is also organic, and since it has local ownership, the artists who work there ensure that every customer has an unforgettable time. The artists are also major proponents of mental health, therefore you should be too. The Proper Bully Tattoo Society also has merchandise such as t-shirts and hats. Some events that are coming up is the Recovery Awareness Flash and 8 Weekends of Halloween Flash. Don't forget to go to the ProperBullyTattooSociety.com to see the artist portfolio or call 812-272-1596. That's 812-272-1956 to schedule an appointment. Their hours are Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., but Sundays are only for appointments. I'll leave you with this. Whether you are sobbing or jumping for joy, you will say, "Oh my God!" Alright, folks, we're back, and I'll accept being a bully at this place, but you have to be a proper bully at this place. Something we might do when and after losing our cool is catastrophize. And see the latest episode 310, Jumping the Gun, for more information. When we lost our patience, don't expect us after to be Mr. Smiley Face. Since A, we're exhausted, but B, mainly, we're fed up. We can't wait any longer. It's too much. Realistically, we're not going to know. But now, in our brains, we have to go to this, air quote, no, with a question mark. It's the antonym of Flo Rida's good feeling, which is a bad feeling. It's a bad feeling because we don't know the answer. We wish we had more patience. We're experiencing burnout sometimes. And C209 exhausting the burnout for more information. That being said, let's have a verdict or it will be a never-ending trial. Parents, you can take a deep breath because depending on where they are on the spectrum, some have a basic understanding of patience. And it's great patience, but the problem could be they're too patient. When I say too patient, I mean patient as a rock, and they're not moving. They will wait and wait and wait. I could easily see Johnny sitting in the corner and waiting for 5 hours to get his driver's license. I have a perfect story with this too. So as you know, I upload my podcast to YouTube. There's a way to do it automatically, but then it switches off the setting and I have to do it manually. Well, manually takes a while, and it could take a long time. I once waited for 4 hours for the video to upload. Now, afterwards, my parents had to get on to me and say, Sam, you probably shouldn't be waiting for 4 hours. You could still do stuff and check in on it. Which I did after realizing, oh, yeah, this is affecting my life. I better do what they're doing. So now what I do is I'll still upload if needed, but I'll still do things instead of just sitting there. I'll go get breakfast and check on it. Then I'll brush my teeth and check on it. Or I'll go see how the cats are doing that we have currently, then go back and sit and wait. What I'm trying to tell you here, you can still sit and wait, but make sure it's not the most dominating factor in your life. If you think about it, you know what you're doing when you're doing the necessities? You're waiting. Waiting doesn't always have to include sitting in a chair. It's even possible those on a spectrum can teach the other party patience. Don't believe me? Take a look at the second article below by Miami Autism Dad, where he tells you how his daughter showed him patience. It is also possible those with autism might have a separate trigger. So what I listed earlier were the many scenarios that those on a spectrum will do. And I'm not saying that's for a certain population. That's for a lot of people on the spectrum. But there's also one trigger that could be different for everybody that could cause this person to lose patience. Maybe Ted can't find his reading glasses and has lost it. Or maybe Greg overcooked his omelet and Greg's lost it. Maybe Bob has an injured leg and has lost patience. Everyone has an item could make them go over the limit. Mine is electronics. If an electronic doesn't work, I am not a nice person to be around. I've hit them before, I'm not gonna lie. I've punched them before, and here and there, when I was younger, I kicked them. Now, do I do it now? No. But don't be surprised if I still cuss out a computer. Trust me, Aspies, if you don't have patience in your life, it will cause you issues in the long run. There are many reasons why patience is a virtue. According to some general research and my knowledge, some of those are it shows humanity. This is a life philosophy of mine, but I believe as humans, it's our job to forgive people. No one should be in a perfect handstand position all the time. Eventually, our feet are going to touch the floor and have a bad day. But I believe it's our job to let the bad days go under the rug so we can have a better day the next day. It's not our job to pick at them, but to help them. It also makes you a stronger human being. Empathy, comprehension, and ultimately better, more durable relationships are all facilitated by patience. It is the bond that keeps individuals together while they experience the unavoidable highs and lows of life. Another reason why patience is a virtue is there are less stressful times ahead. If you're not a patient person, it will become evident you'll get stressed and stressed and stressed to the point you could become a bitter human being. Then people won't be around you. But if you do have patience, you can get along with people, you'll have more friends, you'll be seen as a pleasant person, you won't have much stress, there'll be less drama in your life. It's really the difference between being a likable or unlikable person. Another reason is it allows to achieve your goals. Patience allows you to confront and conquer problems, which increase stamina and trust and the sense of accomplishment you get from completing each milestone objective. It can help you stay motivated in every aspect of your life so you can achieve the goals your heart desires. The final reason is it has a given more amount of appreciation. In a world that's very fast, it challenges humans to calm down and relax by enjoying the moment and the little things instead of the bigger picture. To those on the spectrum and the parents, I want you to know there's no shame in losing patience occasionally. We've all slipped on water. Now, if you're a continuous hothead, it's a different story. But if you're a great mother or a great father or a great child with the right moral compass and beliefs, don't fret about it. No one's going to hate you because you lost your patience several times in your life. I bet your neighbor has done it too. I'll tell you what, if you're willing to do what Seth Rollins does, and that's burn it down, I'm going to burn it down with you and forget about it. I'll even admit, there have been times where I've lost my patience. Some of those times include putting in your hours time. So lately, my mother's kind of been lacking on putting in her hours. Well, I kindly requested, hey, can you please log in your hours? Okay. Well, didn't do it for a week, didn't do it for another week. I finally had to call her last week, and I said, log in your hours. I'm getting sick of this. Now, I could have said it a lot nicer, but I was too worried about getting nagged on by the IRS. Another time is losing patience with cooking time. There's a reason why I don't cook, and part of it is I'm scared I'm going to burn the house down, but another part is the patience. I don't get why it should take 5 hours to make a meal. I get with some, I'm more of a quick person too with the ADHD and C257 ADHD for more information. I want something that's going to make a minute or 2 minutes tops. And I get making some easy meals, but these hard meals, gosh, get going already. The other one is, yes it is time. I was trying to pass my math class. My parents decided to get me a tutor, and I had to get up early in the morning for it. Totally chill, but it was hard math. And one day, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. My mother was there trying to understand it, and we weren't getting it. So my tutor finally asked me a question, and she said very respectfully, no, it's not, buddy. It's this instead, yada, yada, yada. Well, I mumbled, yes, it is. Very disrespectfully. I won't lie. I'll take the blame for that one. Let's just say afterwards, I got smacked in the back of the head, along with being chewed on. Then my mother requested me to make the phone call and apologize. Totally fine. Said I was sorry. Felt bad. Nothing else happened. And I think the tutor appreciated it more than ever because I was rude and I shouldn't have done that. She's just trying to help. Why take your anger out on someone else? My bad. The final time is group of possible friends time. This is happening right now, believe it or not. So lately, I made some friends on campus. Pretty cool. Well, the problem is I don't know what their relationship wants it to be. It's throwing me off and I'm losing my temper with them because I'm getting nowhere with them. They're not giving me answers. What I want to do, honestly, is grab them by a wrestling ring, kind of a Seth Rollins town hall meeting, and ask them, all right, what do you want this relationship to be? Do you want us to talk on campus? Do you think I'm attractive? Do you just want to be a friend and go out sometime as amigos? Because to be honest with you, I'm getting nowhere with the clues you're giving me. Now, folks, we'll be right back right here from Great White Smoke, so let's get to it. In the town of Bloomington, Indiana, you can find the best barbecue meat at Great White Smoke. Owned by Dave White, Great White Smoke offers meat catering for events such as weddings and birthday parties. They've won awards such as the 2021 #1 food truck in America Grand Champion and the 2019 Kentuckiana Barbecue Pitmasters King of the Q. If you're looking for someone to cook meat for your event, then Dave is your guy. Book them for your next event at 812-229-7571. You can drop them an email on their contact page as well. Alright folks, we're back. You definitely hear smoke on the water. There's a fire in the sky, if you choose to go there. Parents, I can give you some ideas to teach your child patience and what you do if you lose patience. According to some general research and my knowledge, some of those are either count to 10 backward or take a deep breath. So in one episode on Super Nanny, there was one father who anytime his kids acted up, he lost patience with them and just blatantly yelled. Super Nanny told him to try this trick, and according to her, counting back to 10 or taking a deep breath means you're acknowledging, oh, I'm about to lose it. And I agree with her. And for some of the spectrum, they might need to take a deep breath and, as Ice Cube would say, check themselves. However, if you're like me, it may not work because what happens is when you count backwards or take a deep breath, it works you up. So if it's going to do that to you, please don't do it. It goes from a good idea to a bad idea within 5 seconds. Another idea you can use, you can allow the mistake. Maybe what you can do, parents, is take a step back and let them see, oh, I screwed up here because of my patience level going downhill pretty fast. Now, I wouldn't do it if it's going to end up in bloodshed, but they're going to get a slap on the wrist? Sure, why not? Sometimes the best teacher is experience, whether good or bad. Another idea you can use, you can express regret and accept responsibility. Among the most crucial actions you may do is this one. Giving an apology to your child after you've lost patience could teach them the value of taking responsibility for their action. Caring parent is able to recognize when they are in error, and regardless of whether the child's behavior caused you to lose your cool, it didn't make sense how you responded. In addition to facilitating communication, owning up to mistakes, and offering an explanation, helps parents and children have a positive relationship. Another idea is you can hear them out. Your child with autism will probably be so overwhelmed with emotion at these times that they will need to communicate their feelings. We should allow them to express their annoyance and displeasure as parents. While it could be difficult for a child with autism to deal with these emotions when they are venting, let them say whatever they need to say in whatever way they wish to, and don't interrupt them. The final idea I have is you can lead by example. Your child's response to difficult circumstances can be influenced by your own behavior. Do you often roll your eyes, sigh out loud, or get angry? Your children pick this up. Make an effort to pay closer attention to your own feelings when each one of you is losing patience, and set an example for how you would like your child to respond. Discuss the reasons why things are taking a little longer than expected. Come up with entertaining ways to speed up the procedure, or take one of the previous suggestions and take a couple deep breaths together. Now, folks, we'll be right back. We're going to hear from our old friends, Rock 96.1 radio station, so let's get to it. We want to thank 96.1 The Quarry, especially David and Dan Hayes, for being a gold sponsor for our Summerfest. 96.1 residents in Bloomington, Indiana, and like Autism Rocks and Rolls, they rock and roll too. Visit their website at rock961fm.com to hear them out. And when they're on the station, be sure to listen to them live on their website or catch them on the radio in your car. If you like Kiss, Queen, 80s rock, or ZZ Top, I think you have found your station. 96.1 also supports our veterans, so you should support them too. Visit 96.1. Yeah! Alright, folks, we're back. You'll definitely rock out to this radio station. For those on the spectrum, parents aren't the only ones who can help with patience. There are some techniques I have for you too. According to some general research and my knowledge, some of those are look at the outcome. If you're getting so mad and you're getting impatient, like, gosh dang it, this is taking for so long. I'm gonna go speak to the waiter. I'm gonna get really mean here. What's gonna happen if you become mean? There's a lot of scenarios. One, you could get kicked out of the restaurant, or they won't be very pleasant with you. So now, like, I'm gonna go, oh, wait a minute. I might get kicked out of the restaurant. It's honestly better to catastrophize than lose it too, because I do see it's a difference from, okay, I might get kicked out of the restaurant to I'm going to get kicked out of the restaurant because I choose to be impatient. Another idea you can do is you can break down instructions for us. To those with children with autism, it's another solution for the parents too, and actually for the child to request it. One thing we get overwhelmed with is instructions, and it can make us lose our patience. It's like, oh, I want you to go crack the eggs for me. Now I want you to go brush your teeth. Now I want you to clean the toilet. Now I want you to do deodorant. Whoa, Nelly, too much. Instead, what should be is, okay, first, do me a favor and crack these eggs. Now do me a favor, since you just ate breakfast, can you go brush your teeth for me? Now, because your pits smell like crap, can you do me a favor and put on deodorant? All you got to do today for a chore is clean the toilet and you're good to go. It already sounds better than... Another idea you can do is you can step out, but only if you can. Maybe you're losing so much patience and you're just over it. So what you can do? Don't deal with it. Step out of the situation. Maybe you're not needed there, and it may be for the better. You'll become more patient, and guess what? The worry has sailed off into the ocean, my friend. However, if you can't, don't do it. Stress is going to come in life, but the way you handle it, well, that's up to you. And I just hope you choose to handle it correctly. Or if you don't know how to, you can find someone. Which leads me to my next idea, and that is create a network of support. As I say in previous podcast appearances, someone will find you interesting, but it's going to get better. Someone's going to find you interesting, and it can span statewide or nationwide even, because I have connections all over the place. And I bet some of those connections don't know the best with patience, or can help me with patience if I choose to ask. All you want is for someone to listen to you, or someone you can vent to. If I had to guess, I bet someone of those connections, family, or peers would hear me out. The final idea you can use, can make it a teachable moment. So I'm not telling the parents teach you, but you teach yourself. You're like, oh, note to self, this takes a little more time. And you take action by teaching yourself how to be more patient by doing the research and finding out what works for you. I have a perfect story with this. So I'm not the most perfect patient person. Hey, that's a new acronym, PPP, perfect patient person. But I'm not the most PPP when it comes to socializing. I've had to do the research on how to be more patient when it comes to socializing and friendships. I can't tell you how many times I've had to make you note by saying, oh, that's right, socializing takes more time, and asking you to relax before I screw it up for everybody. In conclusion, those on a spectrum may not grasp patience. I understand it may not be fair for us to have patience, and you're required to have patience, but it's better than the volcano exploding. Those on a spectrum might not ever be perfectionists with patience. And should you expect us to master it? No. But should you raise your child to have an amount of moderate patience? It can be possible where you teach each other how to be patient. We ask you to forgive us should we trip on our feet. Us losing patience in that scenario may never happen again. Well, folks, let me offer us, they hope you learn some about patience, and I want you right to go help someone on the spectrum be patient. Thanks for joining for this episode. Please tune in for another episode coming in very soon. Hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble. Thank you very much.